Okay, boardroom, we are recording. Can you please unmute?
All right, are we on mute? Yeah. Perfect. All right, with 3:00 being the hour, I'd like to call to order the Board of Directors regular meeting study session for Thursday, April 16th at 3 p.m. Dory, can I get a roll call?
Director Meyerhoffen,
Here.
Director Martin,
Here.
Director Sewell,
Here.
Vice President Griffith,
Present.
and President Duff.
Present.
Thank you. We have quorum.
And with one member attending remotely, can we please have approval of the board member Robert Griffith attending remotely? Do we just all say aye?
Aye.
Yes,
Aye.
that would be fine.
Yes.
Great, thank you. And Counselor, could we get rules of procedure?
Yes, according to the rules of procedure adopted by the Board of Directors, all notice meetings are conducted using Rosenberg's Rules of Order as a procedural guideline. Directors should refrain from responding directly to public comments at meetings of the board. The president of the board presides at all meetings and decides all points of order and procedure during meetings. The president is responsible for the maintenance of order and decorum at all board meetings. No person should be allowed to speak who has not first been recognized by the president. All questions and remarks should be addressed to the president of the board as the presiding officer. No member of the board should speak more than once on any subject until every other member of the board wishing to speak on that subject shall have been given an opportunity to speak. No board member shall interfere with the orderly progress of a board meeting. And then just also as a reminder, the board has adopted a 3-minute time limit for public comments. That 3-minute is per person. Their time is not to be shared or given to other people. It's 3 minutes per person.
Okay. Thank you, Counselor. And at this point of the meeting, we're going to move to public input. And this is the opportunity for members of the public to address the board on matters within our board's jurisdiction. And this will be for matters not on the agenda. So I just want to clarify that. Is there any members that want to speak on items not on our agenda?
President Duff, not online.
Thank you. And with that, can we move to employee recognition, human resources report 7?
President Duff, that report will be given on Monday.
Okay, thank you. And then we'll move to action items. Public hearing on resolution 2026-02 to collect sewer fees on the tax roll. And it's recommended to adopt this resolution. General Manager?
Thank you, President Duff. Members of the board, the public hearing will be held on Monday where a full presentation will be provided. However, Skylar Albury, our accounting manager, will provide a summary of the process and answer any questions the board may have. Skylar, thank you.
Thank you, General Manager Macy. All right, good afternoon, President Duff and members of the board. This will be the 11th year now that we will be collecting sewer fees for residential customers on the county tax roll. This has no impact on how the fees are charged, just how we collect them. When the district switched to utilizing the county tax roll as opposed to using our own billing system, there was a significant decrease in delinquent accounts. We do also send out letters to the customers offering them to pay the sewer fees in advance if they prefer. The customers have until June 30th to make their prepayments. After that, all remaining sewer fees will go to the county tax roll. The district participates in the county's teeter plan, which means the district receives 100% of the fees levied regardless of actual payments made. The county is then responsible for collections and receives any late payment penalties and interest associated with the delinquencies. A total of $7.86 million will be going to the tax roll, which includes $7.35 million in district sewer fees and $514,000 in city utility users taxes, also referred to as UUT. This concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions.
Right. Any questions from the public or comments from the public regarding this item?
President Duff, not online.
Thank you. And seeing none in person, we'll move to questions or comments from the board.
Good.
Director Meyerhoffen?
I have a question. So the county, if I remember correctly, when they come to collect the taxes, the property taxes, it could take them 5 years.
Really, from the district's perspective, because we're part of the teeter plan, it really doesn't concern us because we still get 100% of the taxes levied. The collections actually goes to the county. So we would receive our sewer fees that we levied, and then any late payments or interest would actually go to the county if someone didn't pay for, say, 5 years.
I understand that, but we wouldn't collect for 5 years until the county sells the house and collects.
No, we would collect the year we levied it. So,
The
so what
same year?
happens generally in October of the following fiscal year, that is when we get what's called a teeter payment, and then they will pay all the remaining owed that has been levied and not actually paid. So we will have 100% of the amount levied at that time. And then for all the accounts that are delinquent, it will be the county's responsibility to collect, and then they will get the penalties and interest associated with that as well.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
So it does save the district quite a bit in employee staff time and collections cost as well. So
All right, thank you.
Okay, Vice President?
No.
Okay, thank you. Anything else further from the staff?
No, President Duff.
All right, so we'll look forward to this formal presentation on Monday then. Thank you very much.
thank you.
Moving on to number 9, accepting the audited financial statements for year ending June 30th, 2025. It's recommended that the audited financial statements be reviewed and accepted as presented by Rogers, Anderson, Melody, and Scott. General Manager?
Thank you, President Duff. Again, Skylar Aubrey, our accounting manager, will be introducing our auditors and be providing a presentation. Skylar?
Yes, I'm excited to announce that our audit and financial statements are now caught up, and our auditors from Rogers, Anderson, Melody, and Scott are here to present. I will turn it over to Brad Wellebeer, who is our audit partner.
Thank you, Skylar. All right, just a quick sound check. Everything good?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you for having us here today. Members of the board, we're glad to be in front of you again. And in a short time since our last presentation, we're going to be giving you a very brief presentation overview of the audit process. And this is over fiscal year 2025. If you remember, just not too long ago, we were presenting over 2024. The district has done a phenomenal job stepping it up and completing this audit from start to finish in under 3 months, which is fantastic, catching you guys up to the most recent fiscal year. And everything's going to be good news. There's no surprises in our presentation, but I'm going to turn this over to Sean, who is our senior accountant in charge of running the field work and the team on this audit. And he's going to run through a brief presentation with you.
Thank you, Brad. Let me share my screen so that way I can present. Okay. Oh. Wrong screen. Sorry about that. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Just as Brad had talked about, this is the fiscal year 2025. Some of the brief audit objectives that we typically go for when we start an audit is that we audit the district's financial statements in conformity of U.S. generally accepted academic standards. And then we also express an opinion on those such standards that is determining if they're fairly presented in all material respects in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. And then we review management's financial statements. Some of an overview of the annual district audit, we typically break it into 2 different pieces. Usually it's broken between interim field work and year-end field work. Just based on the timing, we actually done both of them together and being able to finish the audit within the 3-month period, which, as Brad has said, is terrific news. When it comes to the interim field work, we usually get an understanding of the entity or of the district to see if there's any changes that occurred. We test various controls for operating effectiveness, and such controls are related to testing contracts for compliance, looking at disbursements for how things are paid, looking at how payroll is conducted, and then looking at how journal entries are actually processed within the district's financial system. Then, as the year-end audit, we based our audit risk from our interim test to determine how the actual year-end audit should be done, which is like the audit of numbers. We essentially will inspect relevant documentation when it comes to looking at account balances. We'll inquire about policies to see if there's been any, seeing if the district is in compliance with such policies for things being renewed. We'll confirm balances with third-party bank accounts and or the investment statements. We'll also perform analytical procedures over all of the accounts themselves, and then from there we develop an expectation based on the audit of the numbers and perform specific procedures over anything that falls out of that as expectations, which is normal. We'll also read the board of directors minutes, and then we'll read and review, obtain relevant documentations for contracts and debt, and we'll obtain payments as well. Our responsibilities, as the audit objectives had said earlier, is that we review the financial statements that are prepared by management. We look at the notes of the financial statements. We read through the MD&A and perform limited procedures over it. And we also read through the letter of transmittal. We complete this process with the audit team, which is led by me and then my direct partner, which is Brad Williver. We develop opinions on the financial statements and we draft the following letters: the internal control and compliance and the SAS 114. Both the SAS 114 and the internal control of compliance were clean. And also we want to make sure that it's stated that management was responsible for all the information from the statements. When it comes to the audit results, we issued an unmodified opinion, which is the cleanest opinion for the highest level of reassurance that we can provide. We did not identify any deficiencies in internal control or significant material weaknesses. We had no instances of non-compliance or other matters that need to be reported. Moving on to the audit results for the SAS 114, we had no significant difficulties dealing with management. We had no disagreements with management, and then we also received the management representation letter. Based on GASB pronouncements, there was no standards that had to be implemented for fiscal year 25 because they were early implemented in fiscal year 24. But with that, it kind of sums up like a brief overview of the audit process itself, and I'll kind of open the floor if there's any actual questions. No questions? Okay, perfect. I'll stop sharing.
I think she was talking to me. So I would definitely like to thank our auditors for providing the staffing required to turn around such a quick audit. Very great to work with. They've been excellent, very professional. Nothing but great things to say about them. So,
Okay.
and then also in addition, our accounting staff as well. Every single staff member has been excellent, and both those contributed to this very quick turnaround. 3 months for an entire year of accounting, audit, and financial statements is impressive. So
Hats off, definitely. With that, are there any questions or comments from the public regarding this item? I see none.
Had quite a few people join during this item. So if you are here to make public comment on this item number 9, accepted audited financial statements, please unmute your microphone. If you are appearing by phone only, that's *6. Madam President, it does not appear anybody is here for public comment on this item.
Thank you, ma'am. Director Martin?
No.
Okay, Director Martin.
Yes. Excuse me. What was the process used to pick your company as the auditor?
Yes, so it was part of our 5-year RFP that we did 5 years ago. So it would have been across various criteria. I was not with the district at that time, so I couldn't tell you exactly, but we did go through a formal RFP process though, as appropriate.
Were any of the members of the board involved with that?
Us.
Hmm?
I believe all of us every year.
Yeah,
In the
so
choosing of the auditor. Let me explain the reason why I'm asking this question. When it was in one of Sacramento, you weren't there for that day. I'm sorry, but it was nice to to listen to this presentation, financial presentation. I'm sitting there thinking, "Oh, yeah, we're doing that. We're doing that. General Manager is doing a great job of it." But what came up on there, and I wanted to mention it before, was the choosing of the auditor. The president of the board should be involved with that because it's actually a third party audit, somebody from the outside. So the president of the board should be involved with the choosing of the auditor, if it's the same one before or not. So it's something for us to look into later. We already know the answer to my question. So we'll talk about that later and maybe look into that.
Okay, thank you. Director Sewell.
So is this the last year we'll be using Rams? We have to switch to another auditor.
So I did submit a 1-year extension that is currently under process and hasn't been finalized yet because of our Tyler ERP implementation and the circumstances. So Rams is familiar with all of our old processes and chart of accounts. So if we brought in a new audit team this year, it would be much more inefficient. They'd have to learn about our old process and chart of accounts, then learn our new chart of accounts and processes. So through these circumstances, we feel it's really in our favorable and appropriate to have 1 more year on the agreement. And then in that time, then we'd go through a formal RFP process.
Okay. I guess it sounds like everything went as smooth as possible this year. I know in years past we've had some delays and things. Is there anything that would benefit us to make it just as smooth for next year that we're looking into
Really, I would say the implementation of the new ERP system, once it's finalized, during the audit for the fiscal year, there will be some difficulties because we'll be in 2 different systems for the year, 2 different general ledgers, etc. But after that, as soon as we're fully implemented, we will have a much more efficient and effective system. It's everything will run much smoother as soon as we're fully implemented. And we did implement phase 1, which is core financials, which includes like general ledger, accounts payable, contracts, project accounting, etc. last month. So the biggest module of the 3 has already been implemented. We will be implementing HR and payroll here in August, and then utility billing in November. And at that point, we will be fully in Tyler and fully implemented. So
great. So before we start the next audit process, we'll be fully implemented. Ideally.
So yes. Yep. So we are planning on doing interim for the next audit in August and start final audit procedures in November at right around the same time that we will be implementing utility billing. So
great. Thank you.
And Vice President?
Nothing.
Okay. And if I could get some clarification, maybe Rams wants to chime in on this. I know that in several seminars, there's been a lot of conversation about how your auditors need to change frequently and how it doesn't necessarily mean the company, but that oftentimes different auditors step in and work on a customer's audit so that there are those fresh eyes. And I believe we have a fresh face as well right now. So I just wanted to if you could give your overview of the 5 years and how your firm has achieved that, because I know we haven't had the same exact auditors every year, and I just wanted to clarify that publicly before we moved on.
I'll be happy to step in and talk about that. And Skylar, if you want to jump in as well. So this was actually addressed back in 2014 by the State Controller's Office when it became in their awareness, and they had an opportunity to legislate from their position in the state government to tell the governments what their requirements were, and they considered it and went out to public comment and had lots of discussion about it. And where they settled on, as far as the rules from the state, is that they required that the audit engagement partner needs to rotate off the audit after 6 consecutive years. but there was no requirement to switch audit firms. And part of the reason in this discussion with that is there's over 5,000 local governments in California, and it's not easy for a lot of those governments to find auditors. Sure, in big cities, big districts, then there's going to be more availability, but there's a lot of small agencies out there. And when they looked at the controls that are already in place with the accounting profession, including the peer review requirements, where firms like ours that perform these audits are required to be audited by an independent audit firm who reviews our audit work every 3 years, and we have to go through an internal audit every year as part of that process. They felt that it was sufficient controls to have the audit partner rotate off, who's the primary person responsible for supervising the team and signing the audit report every 6 years. We have other mitigating controls in place. We do follow that, of course, that state controller's rule, but we also have more stringent internal control processes where we have second partner quality control review. And we also will have rotating staff inside. So the true reality in public accounting is the nature is that there are people coming and going in the profession all the time. So it would be extremely rare, and it's never happened in your district since we've been working with you, where you have the same staff member all 5 years, just because people are either coming or going out of the profession, or they're stepping up into different leadership roles, and so they get reassigned to other jobs and so forth. So we try to keep as much continuity as we can to make it as efficient as possible, and people can deeply get to know the districts, but there's always going to be new audit staff. So Sean is here as the senior, and his experience has worked on your district for a few years, but he's also supervising a team of probably about 5 that may or have only 1 to 3 years experience with this district. So we are definitely making sure that you have fresh set of eyes every year. When they asked whether they should require it, you often do hear this 5-year rotation. I think that's just maybe a convenient time frame that a lot of districts have adopted. But whether you need to include or exclude your current auditor from your RFP process is 100% a local decision. That's not mandated by the state controller's office, and it's really just comes down to what you feel is best practice. And you can look at the firms you're working with as well and say, like, do they have the breadth of different partners and staff in order to provide us the independence and fresh set of eyes that you might be looking for. In our firm's case, we have 4 different partners that specialize in audits of local governments. So we're able to conform with the state controller's requirement with all of our audits, because if we ever do hit a 6-year consecutive, then we do a rotation so that you have like a cooling off period. So if that was to happen in this case, then I would step away as the engagement partner. I've actually not been the engagement partner this entire time because I stepped in for 2024 and 25. It was previously with one of my other partners, Gardena Duran. So we've already within our 5-year period had a rotation between 2 auditors.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I just think it clarifies that we don't have the same group of people looking at the same documents every time. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Are there any other questions from the board? All right, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate all of your time, and thank you for that fast turnaround.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 10, Resolution 2026-03, authorizing the general manager to sign and execute agreements and necessary supporting documents with the State Water Resources Control Board for the consolidation of CVWD ID8 domestic water system. It is recommended to adopt the Resolution 2026-03 and authorize the general manager to sign and execute agreements and necessary supporting documents with the State Resources Control Board for the consolidation of the CVWD ID8 domestic water system. I do want to add one statement from the first paragraph of the staff report before we move forward. Consolidation of CVWD ID8 system into MSWD's main system is contingent on award of subject grant funding from the State Water Resources Control Board, LAFCO approval with its many public meetings, CVWD's divestiture application being approved, and the approval of this annexation by our board. So there are many, many more steps to this process. This is just for the grant funding aspect. And if I could move to General Manager, I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, President Duff, members of the board. As you know, CVWD's ID8 domestic water system operates independently from their main system. We've talked about this in a couple of our meetings. All 4 of their wells exceed the state of California's standard for hexavalent chromium. Treatment consolidation into CVWD's main domestic system would be extremely costly for them and a significant financial impact for the ID8 ratepayers. As an alternate, CVWD has suggested a connection to MSWD's main domestic water system, which could provide water without exceeding the Chrome 6 standard. However, treatment facilities would still be needed to be constructed for those 4 wells, in addition to other capital improvements for some of the older assets in the ID8 system. We did receive a letter of intent from CVWD providing their support and cooperation in a consolidation project and this grant application process. From that perspective, my last sentence is the same one you just read. The consolidation of this system is not contingent on what we're doing today. Today, we are only talking about the grant funding application. With that being said, I don't want to speak for CVWD. If there's any questions specifically as it related to them, their general manager, Jim Barrett, is here to answer any questions that the board may have. But in reality, just to reiterate, this is the grant application process. Without this grant funding, then we would not be taking on any additional responsibility to treat wells that are not our system. So with that, I'll open up to the board for any questions.
Fantastic. I think we should move to, did General Manager Barrett want to make any comments first? And then I think we'll move to public and then we'll move to the board if that's all right.
Thanks, Madam President, for the opportunity to be here. I do not have any prepared comments.
Okay.
I'm here solely to answer any questions the board might have.
Thank you. Sorry. All right. So I know that we have a lot of our neighbors in the room and we're grateful for all of you to be here today. And so if we have the person who wants to go first.
I have a list of names right here, President Duff. So I'd like to welcome Julie Casserly to the podium.
Welcome, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Julie Casserly. I live in Sky Valley, and I have for the past 40 years. I have served on or been active on our community council for the past 30 years. Currently, I serve as chair, and these issues are exactly why our councils exist. Our community first heard about this consolidation effort 2 weeks prior to CVWD's plan to vote. We were not formally notified, but a resident did find out. Several of us went and spoke at that board meeting, and the board seemed to be on the side of our community. They did not understand why Desert Hot Springs' desire to develop at the I-10 would have to loop in all of the ID8 customers. It may be of interest to all of you to go back and listen to and watch that meeting of September 22nd. The discussion begins at minute 23:20. The board's reaction is of importance. Desert Hot Springs city manager spoke at that same meeting that we were all at, and she was requesting a shared service agreement between CVWD to provide water and MSWD to provide sewer down by the freeway. She stated that they have been trying to do this since 2021, and she said, and now that it has morphed into this consolidation effort. In conclusion, the board agreed that the vote should be tabled until and if Mission Springs Water District agrees to proceed, puts together a plan, and presents it to the communities involved. Your own President Duff, in one of the meetings, said that she was not comfortable proceeding if the communities were against it, which I very much appreciated and wanted to do some outreach before any decisions had been made. Obviously, that has not happened. Noelle and I were planning to come to this meeting to invite someone to come and speak at our council meeting. I just happened to look at the agenda yesterday and was surprised to see that this was actually up for a vote with a letter of support from Jim Barrett at CVWD, but still no outreach from Mission Springs to our community. I noticed at what you guys called your ID8 workshop, it was stated and read into the record that there was no online participation and no residents present. It's probably because nobody was aware of it, to tell you the truth. A public meeting is only good if the public is aware and involved. It's been quite an effort to try and get any ongoing information other than, trying to read agendas and go on and watch meetings to see what and if anything was proceeding. We were assured that this was not moving forward at this time and that there was plenty of time for discussion and input. But over and over again, we are surprised to see what has transpired, mostly in secret. And I hate to say that, but unfortunately it's true. Another thing on my mind is the cost for CVWD to remediate the Chrome 6 and R4 wells is 25 million. For CVWD to connect us to their main line is 40 million. But if we go to MSWD, now the cost is 50 million. Further, if I understand correctly, and please, if I'm incorrect, let me know, MSWD has 7 of its 13 wells that exceed Chrome 6 also. I don't
Thank
know how that helps us.
Thank you, Julie.
All right.
Thank you.
And our next speaker, Noel Ragsdale.
Thank you. My name is Noelle Ragsdale. I'm a resident of Sky Valley and also a member of the Community Council. I share Julie's concerns and about your and CVWD's complete lack of community outreach and information. I'd like to follow up on Julie's comments with a number of questions and comments. The first, the ID wells are all owned and operated by CVW. Query, is it accurate to describe them as a small independent water system, as that term is defined by the State Water Board? If it is accurate, then, and is within that definition, then why wouldn't CVWD be able to apply for the same funding you are seeking for them to consolidate the ID wells with the rest of their wells? Second, how many of Mission Springs, 13 wells comply with the CR standard? Where are these wells located? I assume you have submitted your CR6 compliance plan to the State Water Board. How much have you estimated it will cost to bring them into compliance under your plan? Where are you getting funding for that? Will your existing customers share in this expense? Third, which Mission Springs well do you propose to consolidate with the ID8 wells? Where are they located? Are they currently in compliance with the CR standard? How will using this revenue to remediate the 8 wells to remediate the existing wells? The existing customers. This language should suggest that some or all of the state funding you are seeking may be a loan, which would, can I repeat? No, which would be to be repaid. If so, how will your Mission Springs customers share in that expense? Fifth, what specific water board assistance program will you be applying for? I ask this because I can see there are many different programs, but ultimately, it appears that the water board has $130 million. Yeah. Six. Which have could be 25 million for CBW, but CBW has an estimatable cost to 30 wells in wells in compliance. The 5 million is for capital improvements to the ID8 system. Exactly what improvements do you contemplate making? And specifically, do you contemplate any kind of sewer system? Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Sorry, Carolyn McDonald.
I'm just lower and lower. It's Carlin McDonnell, and I live in Sky Valley. We've been 10 years. Asking you to either reject the moment or table this decision until.
I'm sorry, Speaker, to interrupt you, but boardroom, we are having an incredible difficulty hearing the presenters.
Secondary.
Are we good to proceed?
It's Carlin McDonnell. We've lived there approximately 10 years. Asking you all to either reject signing of this, I'm not even sure what it is, agreement to think about it, or table it until more information is in the application process. And we've had a chance to go back to Coachella Valley Water District and find out more about the process by which you got the letter, which there's some questions about whether or not there's, it's been, what's the word? Trans what? Whatever. I'm sorry, my brain just doesn't function, but transparent. I feel as a resident that the first meeting that was had on this was not anywhere near where we were at 8 o'clock in the morning, which would prevent anybody from being able to come. Again, 3 o'clock in the afternoon doesn't allow people who are working to show up. I dragged my husband away from his job to come here to hear this. So I just asked you all to take into consideration all the steps that have to be made between now and the potential for you to take. I mean, no offense, but I want to stay with Coachella Valley Water District. I don't have any confidence that you are going to provide water to us the same way they have. They do very good, much larger than they are. It gives me pause about this. Thank you. Okay, next we have Tabitha Davis. Miss Tabitha. What situation is it? The last step. Decisions.
I'm sorry to stop you again, Speaker, but we're not catching any of this presentation. Is there another mic that we can provide to the speakers, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Boardroom, or can you hear us on the dais? It doesn't have the podium.
Is that you?
No, I don't think it's the mic. I think it's something.
All right. Can I reclaim my time? Test.
Your time has been restarted.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yes, please. Just give us 1 second. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. As long as I get my 3 minutes, I'm good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right, thank you. We should take a break.
Okay. Okay. You are going to be up next. Please just give us a few minutes. Can we take 5 and try and get the technical difficulties? We will be back in 5 minutes. All right, so if we could please go back to the speaker just before, can you say your name one more time, Carlin?
Carlin
McDonnell.
It's McDonnell.
Thank you again, and thank you for repeating yourself.
I'll come right out and start the last in the beginning. I don't want you all to take over Coachella Valley Water District. I feel very unsure that you're going to do the right thing for the residents that are out there. I want Coachella Valley Water District to continue to have to take care of the problems that have been created out there. More importantly, there's been a real lack of transparency on how this is going to move forward. You all have some kind of an agreement today to sign, which is almost like, I guess, a letter of intent to do a few things, but I don't even think you should be signing it. I think you should either be tabling it. I mean, that would be my preference, is that you table it until all the information that has to be gathered is in. You have a letter from them, but there are documents that are missing, like, I don't know, did the board of CVWD vote on this? We don't know. I think somebody else will be able to answer that question. So there's a lot of things that are missing in this process. And when it first came out, it was held, far away from Sky Valley at 8 o'clock in the morning where nobody could get to it. And even 3 o'clock today, is inconvenient for people who are working to be able to come in and express their opinion. So it's not been easy for people to say what they think. And, whatever is necessary to try to interfere with this process, I'm committed to, until everything is above board, whatever that takes. I know that there's regulatory issues and other things. So I want to see something that's very clearly laid out on which we've not seen to date. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. And I believe our next speaker is Tabitha.
Hello, my name is Tabitha Davies. I am a resident and a co-director of Esperanza Sanctuary in Sky Valley, which is on the ID8 service area, and I'm here to demand that this board table the resolution, not request, but demand. Because what is unfolding in this chamber is not governance, it's the appearance of governance carefully dressed up in the language of public process, while actual decisions were made quietly without us and apparently without proper authorization from anyone elected to make them. I'm not going to rehash the September CVWD board meeting, but that is the last public information that we have available on this topic from the Coachella Valley Water District. The analysis that they had recommended was never completed. Votes never happened. And I would like someone on your board to explain to me and to the people sitting in these seats behind me precisely how we arrived at a $50 million grant application today, because the public record does not show that any elected official authorized this path forward. What the public record does show is that the CVWD General Manager, Jim Barrett, signed a letter of intent committing his agency to the consolidation project. I reviewed every publicly available board agenda from September through today. The ID8 consolidation does not appear on a single one of them as an action item, not one. I submitted a formal California Public Records Request Act to the clerk of the board this morning, requesting board agendas, minutes, resolutions, and any documentation. What the record does show is that GM Barrett had to sign this letter, but there was nothing from the board authorizing that letter. So today, what her email stated was, and I'm reading directly from it, after a review of our files, I was unable to identify any responsive records for this. Those were precisely items requesting proof of board authorization. She further noted that closed session records are exempt from disclosure, and under the Brown Act, any action taken in closed session must be publicly reported in meeting minutes. Those minutes contain no such disclosure. That means that until proven otherwise, but that the general manager may have unilaterally committed his district to a major interagency consolidation project, and this board is now being asked to build a $50 million grant application on top of that foundation. It's not a technicality, it's a fundamental breakdown of public accountability. It's not routine. It's not a formality. It's a transfer of authority to your general manager to execute binding financial agreements with the State Water Resources Control Board on behalf of about 4,800 people who have been neither properly informed nor properly represented at any stage of this process. So if you vote yes today to do this, you're not just approving that, but you are ratifying every procedural failure that brought us here today. So let me say this as clearly and graciously as I'm able. We're not going anywhere. The people of ID8 will be present at every public meeting every month that you have at both the district here and CVWD for as long as it takes. We are organized, informed, and we have demonstrated today that the questions that we are raising deserve answers before a single signature goes on a document that impacts the communities that are on ID8. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do we have any other speakers?
Yes, we do. Mr. Mark Astorga, thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having us. I am a resident of Sky Valley and also a member of the Sky Valley Council. And I have just a quick comment to make about, there's a talk going around that there's little opposition to this amongst the residents. If I wasn't a member of the council, I would have no idea this is happening. There has been no notifications, no letters, no emails of people I've asked about it, neighbors, etc. If they're aware of this happening, we need to get some official notification from the water districts or somebody that can contact the ratepayers that this is going on and they can attend these meetings, or let's learn what's really happening, why this might benefit us or not benefit us. That's all I have to say is just we'd like to get some more public notification in that area that this is happening. And we're trying through the council to get this done, but not too many people come to those meetings compared to the amount of people that live out there. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Eric Mester.
Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eric Mester. I'm a resident taxpayer, ratepayer, a taxpayer that funds these projects and co-owner of Windy Sky Ranch in the ID8 service area. I'm here today to request the board table this resolution. The communities of ID8 are farmers, veterans, and community members. I think this proposal, based on how we've heard about it and everything, triggers state law LAFCO notice by MWD and effective agencies, including the microphone a little bit closer. All right. So I'm saying I think this proposal triggers a state law and LAFCO notice by MWD and affected agencies. If Mission Springs is taking over service now, did you guys hold the proper required pre-submission public hearings on the service shift, and was the public actually allowed to testify on it? It's a question there. LAFCO hearing notice must reach each landowner and if inhabited registered voters in the affected territory. And I was not notified. Okay. Was this an attempted waiver of a protest proceeding? Who initiated this proposal? MSWD, another agency, petitioners, or LAFCO itself? The agency record should show a formal notice to all voters and registered voters in the area. The meaningful submission. This is a service to Vestra. This process with its notice and protest forms. Even steps restrict Vestra obscured with the procedure. The proceeding is procedurally defective.
Sorry, speaker, I'm pausing your time. We're experiencing audio issues again.
Can you hear the dais?
Can you trust speaker? Could you try and say a few words, please? I'm not restarting your time quite yet. We can't hear anything now. No.
Yes, we're both
IT, we hear nothing.
Testing.
Eric, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
That we heard.
All right, can you hear us now?
I can hear you, yes.
So it's okay. So we're good to now. Can the speaker?
Testing. Can you hear me now from the dais?
I can, yes, thank you.
Okay,
I will restart. Yeah, I will resume your time.
Can we give him an extra 15 seconds or so?
Oh, I should be fine.
Okay.
The main thing is, was this an attempted waiver of a protester proceeding? Who initiated this proposal? The agency record should show formal notices. We haven't seen them. Documents I'd like to see, the resolution of application and the full staff report, the plan for services and any fiscal analysis comparing MSWD with CVWD, proof of mailing notice to CVWD and its affected local agency, proof of mailing notice to all landowners and registered voters in the territory, the exact map and legal description of the affected territory, any published notice, posting affidavit, and posted form used, any determination that protested proceedings were waived or proposed to be waived, any record of CVWD comments, objections, or demand for hearings. The public was only given General Brown Act meeting access and was not, but not the more specific LAFCO notice protest rights if this is moving forward. That's all I've got. And I can send an email my questions that I have.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. J. Marks.
Welcome, Mr. Marks.
He's reading.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Good start.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. My name is Jay Marks, and my family have owned a property and residence on White Canyon in Sky Valley for 50 years. The Sky Valley Water District has provided service for this entire 50 years, and we've been with them in some of their early trials, but they have always been very receptive and taking care of problems that have occurred. I have nothing against Mission Springs Water District. I have no experience with them, but there's an old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And as far as I'm concerned, it's not broken. It is my understanding that changes to the provision of a public service like that may be considered when the proposal will result in higher level of service at the same cost of preventive service and a lower cost. That's to neither category as far as I'm concerned. It feels as though this is putting the cart before the horse. The case currently challenging California's CR6 standard is still pending in the courts, and CVWD is exploring, along with other affected water districts,
I'm sorry, Speaker, I need to pause you. We're getting terrible feedback now.
Can we test, Dory? Test from the dais?
Every time somebody speaks, that sounds like a squeaking sound. It's just terrible feedback.
Can you test now?
Whoa, no, it's still bad.
How about now?
No.
One more try, Dory.
No, we're still getting that feedback anytime you speak.
So sorry to all of you for these delays. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's people. Madam Chair, am I allowed to make a point of order? I don't know. We're on break right now. Is that the last? Can I ask you a question? No, it's not. Oh, no. Oh, I thought. Who else is speaking? Okay. I just know that we're voting today, or you're going to take it.
Dory had.
So you'll have everybody's stuff recorded at some point, right? Hey, yeah, I'm sure these.
Dory, how is this sounding right now?
Right now, it sounds fine.
Okay. I'm just going to keep talking a little bit and then we'll see if this is changing at all. I'm going to talk really close to the microphone. I'm going to talk a little bit farther away. Is this all still sounding good to you?
It does, yes.
So they're not wired?
I was just doing my license.
I mean, it's,
And it's like in 4 or 5 and it should be about 6.
I mean, I have surface, but I got.
But I do have trouble. We were talking.
They can submit them in writing and they'll be part of the record. If they're submitted in writing.
No, because everybody I know is moving that, but if they have more advance notice, they will be here we will have hordes of children in this room, just letting you know.
You know, for those that have already spoken, your comments are in the record. And so that'll be part of the official record. And if somebody didn't get a chance to speak and they can't be here, they could send an email in.
Three, yes, ma'am. She was reading the system. Until we hit save review, we don't know for sure.
The notice will be posted in compliance with the Brown Act for the meeting on Monday.
Submit the written comments that were not presented today. And the second question would be, folk, in case they are not online documented, should they resubmit the written form to the board?
That's entirely the veterans if they would like to submit it. So that the administrative. Yes. It's today. The technical was working. I'm sure it's something like they can do that. Then you can give it straight away. So you can submit your comments to board@mswd.org. So
Here we go. That's item 10.
yes, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
Here are.
So should we and is there a way, did we reset? Is she hearing any of it? Is it recording any of it?
Oh, no, this is terrible. Please stop.